Chad Brundle, BearcatJournal.com, here with offensive coordinator Mike Denbrock in sun-splashed Nippert Stadium. Nice to get outside and enjoy a little spring.
Happy spring, no doubt. Yeah, we're happy that got out of the bubble, got a little warmer temperatures, and got a chance to kind of change the atmosphere a little bit. It's always nice to test them. You know, they get used to one environment, put them in another environment, see how they respond. I mean, the ball, obviously, picking up the ball in the air and catching the ball and things like that, it's all different outside than it is in the bubble. So it was a good day. Good day and a lot of work.
We'll start at quarterback.
Yep.
Dez, very good spring so far. Ben Bryan is coming on as well. Sopko's played well. Have to feel like you're in a pretty good spot at that position.
We do, yeah. I mean, I think, you know, Dez continues to progress, which is obviously what you hope after he gained some really valuable experience, got better and better as he went along. He continues to grow, and the more he continues to grow, the more I'm willing to put on his shoulders and let him kind of run the ship himself, you know, and especially making checks and dictating, you know, what we're doing. It doesn't all have to come from the sideline all the time. So the more he learns and grows, the better we're going to be, because he's the one playing the game, not me. And Ben is, you know, continues to make progress, spins it unbelievably, and I think where he's improved as much as anything is his ability to kind of function within our entire offense. You saw him make a touchdown run today. He can run the football and do some things that we're asking the quarterback to do in the running game as well. And Jake is, you know, steady Eddie, doing a great job of doing everything we ask him to do, like he always does, and being a great contributor.
Running back, last year was kind of battle of attrition. A lot of injuries, in the spring at least. A lot of injuries, and the numbers were down. This year, you've got 5 guys in that room you can hand the ball off to every day, and I think we can see it in, like, Tuesday, Mike Warren looked really fresh and was flying through the line, and today, Tavian Thomas kind of had that look as well. How much of a luxury is it, all those guys, that the reps aren't wearing them down?
Yeah, it's an embarrassment of riches in that room, and obviously we're not embarrassed about it. We're happy about it, but it speaks to the depth that's in there. It speaks to the tremendous ability that's in there as well. You know, and we're going to have to be creative. I mean, we're going to have to find some ways maybe to get a couple of those guys on the field at a time and do some different things, maybe within the scheme of what we're doing, but with a personnel of maybe having more than one running back on the field at a time, and there's no sense having those guys just standing around. So I think it's a great thing going right now with that group in particular. Great competition, obviously. They all want to touch it. They all want to carry it, and that's exactly what we're trying to create.
How tough is it for an offensive coordinator to have 4 number 1 backs in the room?
Yeah, I mean, you know, thankfully they're the type of people that are just willing to dig in and get better at what they need to get better at and get themselves better, because, I mean, obviously you read it in the paper all the time, you see it on TV sometimes on SportsCenter or whatever, guys that are a little bit more selfish than other guys, and you know, some of that's good. I mean, you want them to have that mentality of, hey, I want the ball, I'm ready to do this. But you also want them to understand that the people around them are good football players too, and in the long run, we're going to need every one of them before we're done.
Tight end, another embarrassingly rich room in terms of talent. You get to see those guys every day, and you know what you're going to get from Josiah, and Bruno has been solid. Huber's stepped up as well, but then the 2 pups, Taylor and Wiley, this spring have really started to come on as well. They
really have, and I think that's kind of what our goal was. You know, I think you're right in that. Feel really good about what we know Josiah can do and the type of contribution that he makes to our team. Same thing with Bruno. You know, to a certain extent, Will, we know,
younger.
But got a chance, you know, to really give him some more work this spring, and especially those 2 young guys, to see them come along, and both of them have really stepped up to the challenge, and having them in there is like not missing a beat. So you're right. I mean, there's good depth there. Again, you know, we did some things with 2 of them on the field, sometimes 4 of them on the field at the same time, and we'll continue to do those things just because of the talent level that's in that room.
You've been around a lot of really, really good tight ends. Are these guys on that level?
I mean, I think we're growing in that direction for sure. I mean, I really believe in this group. I mean, I really think, you know, Leonard and, you know, you think of where Josiah is now, where Bruno has progressed to, and then here comes Leonard Taylor, here comes Josh Wiley, and Will Huber, and they're only going to get better and better and better. And oh boy, they're sophomores and
freshmen.
And freshmen.
Yeah.
So here we go.
Wide receiver. That's one an area where you guys probably need to make a jump from years past, and two, really difficult to judge this year because the cornerback room is. How do you handle what you're seeing and navigating that?
You certainly got to keep it in perspective. Obviously we've got a tremendous amount of injuries in the corner room, and so we're having some success when we choose to throwing the football around, but that's tempered a little bit, knowing that probably our top 3 or even 4 corners are not really going. So it's been difficult to kind of gauge. What I do like about that group is I think their knowledge level of what we're doing and what we're trying to get out of that group as far as pushing themselves to play a little bit harder all the time and be a little bit more consistent with what they're doing. I see progress there. So that I think will pay dividends for that group moving forward. But, we're hoping that they continue to come along. I think there's been some guys there that have shown. Ja'Shawn Jackson, I think, has stepped up and done a really nice job so far this spring. Malik Moj here and there has showed some flashes that he hadn't shown. Pierce has been fantastic on the outside and giving us a big speed guy to the field, which is something we've really needed out there. And Geddes has been fine. So there's a number of guys there that are, I think, progressing. And like I said, we're going to have to figure out exactly what we are offensively with the amount of good backs, with the amount of good tight ends. The receivers, I think, know they've got to make sure they step their game up, or we're going to play with a different personnel group.
2 running backs, 3 tight ends.
You know what I mean? Whatever it takes. You know what I mean? So
jumbo package, spread them out.
We'll definitely be able to play to our strength.
Yeah.
And whatever that happens to be. And but I'm pleased with where the wide receivers have come so far, and I think they're going to get much better.
Offensive line. When you got here, that room didn't look like probably what you were used to. In terms of size.
True.
And now, do you ever just look around that and go, how did we get all these monsters in here in 18 months?
Obviously, it was as you know, and everybody out there, I think, who really is really tuned in, that we've really paid a lot of attention to making sure we got the quality of player in that room and kind of revamped it a little bit and really did a good job on the recruiting end. And then, Coach Crook does an unbelievable job of developing the guys that we have as well. So not only do you have some bigger body guys in there, which is nice, we're going to lean on that group, of course. Everybody knows the style of football we're going to play. We're not scared of it. We're not afraid of it. That what we're going to do. We're going to do it anyway. And so I love the mentality of that group. I think we've got to continue to develop some depth in there. The younger guys, I think, are making progress, but we've got to continue to get that second group's level of play up to maybe where some of those starters are, so that we've got a little more depth. Would make me sleep a little bit better at night, but love the progress we've made in that room.
All right, appreciate it, Coach. Thank you.
Appreciate it.